What's up, pretty boy? Welcome back to Anabolic Heroes, your #1 source for no bull bodybuilding. Our today's video is based on the most requested topic of Trenbolone, which is the strongest muscle building and fat burning steroid of all time. There is no concept of pro bodybuilding without Tren. It makes you strong, lean, aesthetic, and big. It helps you achieve your goal of 5 to 6% body fat. But there are risks involved in it. So do not do anything mentioned in this video without a doctor's prescription and supervision. This video is just for education and entertainment purposes. Do not use steroids, stay natural for as long as you can. So today we will learn 1. What is Trenbolone? 2. How does Trenbolone work? 3. How does Trenbolone help you to build muscle? 4. Trenbolone for cutting. 5. Trenbolone for bulking. 6. How to use Trenbolone. 7. Side effects of Trenbolone. 8. Trenbolone results. 9. Should you use Trenbolone? And 10. PCT for Tren cycle. What is Trenbolone? Trenbolone is an AAS anabolic androgenic steroid that is popular among bodybuilders because it helps users to rapidly build muscle. It's sometimes referred to as Tren, Trenbolone, Parabolin, Finaplex H, Trenabolic, Trenoid, Tren 75, Acetren. Tren is the 800-pound gorilla of anabolic steroids. It's 5 times more powerful than testosterone and 10 times more powerful than Decadurabolin. It's some serious Trenbolone was originally created by Host Russell in 1963 to be injected into cattle to increase their appetite, muscle growth, and nutrient absorption. As you'd expect, it wasn't long before the bodybuilding community sniffed out that these cows were getting jacked, so bodybuilders started using it too with amazing results. Host Russell discontinued their Trenbolone in the early 1980s. For a while, a French company sold Trenbolone for human consumption under the brand name Parabolin, but that was also discontinued in 1997. As you can expect, bodybuilders were sad as a hungry goat that they couldn't get their Trenbolone anymore. But then, Host Russell came out with what they call Finaplex pellets for cattle, which contains Trenbolone acetate. Some science-minded bodybuilders realized that the Trenbolone could be extracted from these pellets and came out with homemade extraction kits. Finaplex Trenbolone Extraction Kit. Very much illegal. The Finaplex pellets are legal because they are for cattle, but the Trenbolone extraction kits are not and can get you thrown in jail. Getting your Trenbolone from these pellets is the only way to make sure that you're getting legitimate Tren because there are no pharmaceutical companies that make Tren for humans anymore. Pharma-grade Tren just doesn't exist. Which brings me into UGLs. Apart from the Finaplex pellets, underground labs UGLs are the only way to get Trenbolone. The problem with UGLs is that you are putting your complete trust into someone you've never met before. There have been reports of some UGLs sending out products contaminated with heroin. So you have to ask yourself if you're willing to inject a vial of something some stranger sends you in the post in the hopes of it actually containing Tren. Believe me, there are a lot of scammers in the online steroid market who will rip you off, and there's nothing you can do about it because they are hidden behind firewalls and proxies. The most popular steroid, other than testosterone, Trenbolone is the most popular steroid for guys who want to build muscle fast. It can also be used for cutting cycles, but we'll get to that in a minute. How does Trenbolone work? When it comes to building muscle, 99% of users will use a version called Trenbolone acetate. Trenbolone is fast-acting and has a half-life of 2 to 3 days, so this is how long it takes to pass through your system. Unfortunately, this means that you need to inject yourself every 2 to 3 days to keep your Tren levels stable. The science bit. Trenbolone is a 19-nortestosterone, 19-nor, anabolic androgenic steroid. Tren is a descendant of testosterone, and the 19 simply means that the 19th atom of testosterone has been removed. Decadurabolin is also a 19-nor, and structurally, they are almost exactly the same apart from one thing. What makes Trenbolone 5 times more powerful than testosterone and 10 times more powerful than Decadurabolin is that it contains a double bond on the 9th and 11th atom. This double bond helps Trenbolone to bind to your androgen receptors a lot more efficiently than other steroids. How does Trenbolone help you to build muscle? Trenbolone greatly increases nitrogen retention, which is essential for protein synthesis. Protein synthesis simply refers to the rate at which your body builds new protein cells. With faster protein synthesis comes rapid muscle growth and repair. And don't forget, the more nitrogen we retain, the more anabolic we remain. Growth factor. If you're looking for something to increase your levels of IGF-1 growth hormone, then look no further than Trenbolone. Tren is one of the best anabolic steroids for increasing growth hormone, which will help with anti-aging, recovery, and sleep. Boost red blood cell count. Trenbolone helps carry more oxygen around the blood by increasing your red blood cell count. This improves recovery and endurance. Reduces cortisol. Tren can be especially helpful when bulking and cutting because it reduces overall cortisol levels. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and it can rise after a heavy workout, especially during your cutting phase. High levels of cortisol put you in a state of catabolism, which can destroy your muscle gains. Trenbolone keeps your cortisol levels in check, so you stay anabolic instead of catabolic. Fat burning. Now don't get me wrong, you can still gain fat while on Tren, but as long as you're not eating way too much, you'll find that Tren can be a great fat burner because it helps to speed up lipolysis, which means you'll burn more fat for fuel. If used correctly, Tren will help you build muscle with very little fat. Nutrient absorption. You may remember I said earlier that Trenbolone is given to cattle because it helps them to absorb nutrients better. Well, the same is true for humans. This means you get more out of what you eat and less vitamins and nutrients go to waste. Fact: Trenbolone is detectable in drug tests for up to 5 months. Trenbolone for cutting. During a regular cutting phase, most guys find that they lose some muscle and strength. Because Tren reduces cortisol and keeps you in a state of anabolism, it actually helps to preserve your muscle. And because it increases your metabolism and lipolysis, this further helps your body to burn fat for fuel instead of muscle. This is why Tren is actually one of the most popular steroids among bodybuilders for burning fat. Trenbolone for bulking. Another positive thing to note about Tren is that it doesn't cause water retention and it's harder to gain fat. That means that most of your gains will be pure muscle. Gains. Most users of Trenbolone gain around 14 pounds of muscle in an 8-week cycle. You can still gain a lot of muscle at maintenance calories, but for optimal results, a 500 to 1,000 calorie per day surplus is recommended. How to use Trenbolone. Tren is administered by intramuscular injections every 2 to 3 days. Bulking. If you're going to use Tren, then it's best to start with 50 to 100 milligrams every other day, which is a maximum of 300 milligrams per week. Some experienced users may go up to 600 milligrams per week. Most cycles last between 8 to 12 weeks. Cutting. For cutting, 50 to 100 milligrams every other day is recommended. Some guys will use 200 milligrams every other day, but this increases the chance of side effects. Take cabergoline, Dostinex, 0.25 milligrams every other day to kill prolactin produced by Tren when it leaves your body. To run it with testosterone, please watch our video, 12 weeks 500 milligram testosterone only cycle, for optimal results and no side effects. For cutting, Trenbolone is often paired with Winstrol. Tren for women? Tren is not recommended for women because it will cause virilization, which is when females start taking on male characteristics. Side effects of Trenbolone. Tren is one of the most powerful steroids known to man, and it can cause some serious side effects. Some guys are completely fine to use Tren, and some just can't use it, even at a low dose. Here are some things to look out for. Gyno. Tren is not estrogenic, but it does stimulate progestin, which increases the chances of you growing man boobs. That is a common side effect with most steroids, and that is why guys tend to pair Tren with estrogen blockers too. Hair loss. Is your dad or your granddad bald? If so, then you may have the male pattern baldness gene in you, which will be activated by Trenbolone. Simply put, it may make your hair recede or fall out. Acne. Trenbolone can cause acne and very oily skin. Tren rage. Ever heard of roid rage? Well, tren rage can be on another level. Because of its androgenic nature, it can wreak havoc with your emotions. 1 minute you're fine, and the next you want to tear someone's head off. Cholesterol problems. Tren is known to suppress good cholesterol and increase bad cholesterol levels in some users. That's why it's important to keep simple sugars to a minimum and make sure you do your regular cardio while taking Tren. Natural testosterone suppression. Like most anabolic steroids, Trenbolone will reduce your natural testosterone production by an estimated 70%. A PCT post-cycle therapy is essential if you're going to take Tren, otherwise you'll lose all your gains and feel like a little girl. Liver damage. Too much Trenbolone can be toxic for your liver. Don't take it for longer than 12 weeks and don't use more than 300 milligrams per week. Tren cough. This is one of the most common side effects. After injecting Tren, the oil can get into your bloodstream, which is then sent to your lungs, where your body tries to get rid of it. All of a sudden, you'll start coughing your lungs up. Cardio issues. Some Treners find it really messes up their cardio. One guy complained he just got tired just walking up a flight of stairs.
No? Okay. I'm still hard, so just give me a sec. Sure. Come on, baby, come on.
Trendic. Ever heard of a Decadic? Well, there's Trendic too, and it's no joke. In some users, Trenbolone has the ability to make your dick stop working. And it gets even worse. Trendic can last up to a year after you stop taking it. So before you even think about taking Tren, you need to decide whether you want to potentially risk putting your dick out of action for a year. It doesn't happen to all who use it, but it's a very real possibility. Other common side effects. Anxiety. Here's what one user said. I haven't left the house in 3 days. I feel really anxious and nervous. I never used to feel like this. I keep looking out the window on the street to see how busy it is. I think I need to stop using Tren. Insomnia, sweats, increased heart rate. Even the mild side effects can be very disturbing. The increased heart rate will have you feeling like you're about to have a heart attack, and the sweats will have you wondering if you've caught bird flu or something. If you do decide to use Trenbolone and notice side effects, then you could try reducing the dosage or just accept that it's extremely powerful stuff and some just can't tolerate it. Warning: there are no pharma-grade manufacturers of Trenbolone. Pharma-grade medicines are regulated to make sure that what's on the label is in the medicine. With Trenbolone, you have to buy it from a UGL, which is basically an illegal lab in some guy's basement. So you never know what you're injecting. Trenbolone results. Want to know how much muscle you can gain? Well, it all depends on how hard you train and how good your diet is. Trenbolone is powerful, but it's only a tool. You still need to work out and eat right. Now that's out of the way, on average, it seems like most guys gain around 10 to 20 pounds of muscle in an 8-week cycle. An 8-week cycle will probably cost between $200 and $400. Should you use Trenbolone? To put it bluntly, no. And the fact that there are no pharmaceutical makers, so you have to trust that the UGL that you're buying from is actually sending you a vial of Tren, is not worth the risk. When you buy from a UGL, it can be underdosed, overdosed, or it may not even be Tren that you're injecting. As an anabolic steroid, it's very powerful, but there are some serious side effects, including the fact that it will shut down 70% of your testosterone production if you don't get your PCT right. And it can make your dick stop working. Trenbolone equals avoid. It works, but it just isn't worth the risk. If you still want to use it, then you must know how to run an aggressive post-cycle therapy to bring back your natural testosterone. Start your PCT with 100 milligrams of Nolvadix on the first day, then 30 milligrams of it every day in combination with 150 milligrams of Clomid on the first day and 50 milligrams of it every day for the next 30 days. Take 250 IU of HCG every other day, either during cycle or during PCT. It will make your balls force restart testosterone production. Now, once you stop using Tren, more than 50% of the gains will fade away. Add 50,000 IU of vitamin daily for 30 days during PCT to give a boost to natural T production, and use a very powerful natural test booster such as Black Ox from GetEnhanced.shop. Trust me, it's not an advertisement. This product is a slap on the face of shitty and expensive fitness industry. You'll only see the difference once you use it. By doing this, you will be able to keep up to 80% of the gains, which is the best deal ever. If you have used Trenbolone or have any questions, then ask below. Our next video is on the topic of Winstrol, the second most anabolic compound following Tren, its complete cycle, protocol, and PCT. So please make sure to keep checking back. We're publishing daily bodybuilding content to feed your muscles. Remember to leave a like, share in your favorite bodybuilding group on Facebook or a forum. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll see you soon.